let's go for a wee swim as we look at the beloved 80s cult classic Sleepaway Camp, released in 1983, directed by Robert Hiltzik. And be sure to stick around afterwards for a little story about why Felicia Rose was my favourite celebrity counter of all time. But first, the review. So when this slasher hit the screens back in the day, it wasn't very well liked. A lot of critics complained it was derivative and too similar to Friday the 13th. And on the surface, I guess I can agree, but oh man, if you just went into this blind going by that, then good lord, you're in for a surprise because Sleepaway Camp is nothing short of cuckoo bananas nuts. The biggest part in that, for me anyway, is how a lot of the acting is quite goofy. You think they were playing it up. It accidentally becomes an unintentional self-satire, ironically years before the sequel, Unhappy Campers, did the exact same thing. Hell, even Edward Belus's music score is comically quite over the top. But I suppose it basically matches the tone. Desiree Gold as Aunt Martha is the gold medalist in the silly acting candidacy. Her inflections, her hand acting, her bulging eyes and unhinged looking facial expressions, her irrational speech as she delivers the surreal dialogue, just everything about her. Like, oh my god, this is something to behold. It's a gold tier heat check performance right there, for all the wrong reasons. This was definitely back in the 80s because Camp Arawak is very dodgy and dubious. The counsellors in their mega short shorts are constantly rude and can't get a grip of the young, off-the-chain kids. The lispy head manager Mel is so incompetent and afraid of being held accountable. Then there's the straight-up paedophilic chef Artie, who's casually laughed off by Ben, played by Robert Earl Jones, yes, James's dad, as if his behaviour is no big deal. It's jaw-droppingly mental to witness from a modern point of view, isn't it? I will say, Jonathan Tiersten as Ricky is awesome. I love him and his berserk energy, smart-ass quips, and epic potty mouth. He could have easily led the film by himself. But of course, the star is Angela, played by Felicia Rose. Very quiet and shy, with a dead-eyed 1,000-yard stare a lot of the time. But it makes sense why she behaves this way. Well, what we all assume is simply the trauma of losing her brother, on top of being treated like a lesser person at camp, when in reality, she's traumatised on a whole different level. Don't worry, I'll get there. But Rose does well acting as such. And you feel sorry for her being an easy target for bullying. Half the time I'm confused as to why they're so angry and mean towards her. Specifically Judy. What a bitch. And yeah, let's not beat around the bush. The mystery is a whole load of nothing. Angela is so obviously the killer. On the plus side though, a top-notch series of deaths/attacks. Artie being wiped out by the boiling water and being badly burnt, thank god. There's Kenny being drowned, with the water snake coming out of his corpse, a genius touch. That guy getting a beehive chucked in him while he's locked in the toilet. That's certainly unique. Nick Cage, eat your heart out. There's Meg being stabbed through the shower wall, Judy being ironed up the woohoo, Jesus Christ, and the arrow going through Mel's neck. Which brings us to the ending, with the shocking, unexpected resolution that Angela was not Angela. She was the brother this whole time, forced by the aunt to become a girl. So we get the legendary image of Angela and her demented, mouth agape face, accompanied by that unearthly, skin-crawling snarl and the ding-dong hanging loose. Then it just abruptly ends there. There's no final showdown or what have you. It just stops like that. Meaning that's the last thing you remember. And by God, what a way to make a permanent impression and stamp a place in the annals of horror. A moment that elevates this picture from something fun to something iconic. And so many themes that can be drawn from it that have been explored through entire essays, mainly being repressed and forced to be something you're not instead of your true self, is insanely ahead of its time. Groundbreaking even. But man, there is simply way too much to unpack for a single short form review. I didn't cover even half of what goes down in this flick. Sleepaway Camp is total extraordinary madness on a parade of levels which has to be seen to be believed. Now let's talk about Felicia Rose. So I met her this year at HorrorCon Scotland. She signed my DVD in that, but we also had a very lovely chat about how we related on a few personal things and how inspiring it was for her to be the explicitly positive person that she is, and just, I can't put into words just how much that meant to the both of us. We shared a hug, she even generously gave me a signed poster as a bonus. Of course we got the classic pic, and she even shared another pic of us together on her actual Instagram. Like, that just blew my mind, and had me straight up blushing as I grinned ear to ear. She did not need to do any of that, but she did. It's a core memory that I'll forever cherish and take to my grave. I'm internally grateful for the moment, and so thankful for Felicia for allowing me that. And okay, one last thing. Do you realise how hard it was to source a legal DVD of this movie in the UK? It's hands down one of the rarest and most expensive in my collection. The sequel is rather common for some odd reason, but the original, like searching for a needle in a haystack. In the middle of a haystack factory. Blindfolded. So if you're a British DVD collector and spot one in the wild, I implore you, nab it. Anyway, this has gone long enough, so time for lights out. I'm Jason, and this is Small Movie World, watching, talking, and loving films.